my segue to talent development. What is talent development? If we look at that piece that was there on the left, you need to not just have a good IT infrastructure, you need to have a well-versed user population for the technology that's been deployed. Do people know how to use it? Developing your user base is as important as developing your talent to deal with the bits on the left. Giving people opportunities to further their education, whether in the technical domain or in the professional landscape. Let's go back to how to make an IT person happy. It's about respect, it's about recognition. Don't lose that opportunity to say, I'm going to invest in you. The jump from technical depths to a leadership role doesn't necessarily mean that they have to lead people. They can be a thought leader. They can be a project leader. Let them lead. Get out of their way and make sure that it's within the confines of what adds value to the organization. Find your coaches. Find your mentors. They're two different disciplines. But find who they are, who those thought leaders in your organization are that you believe most exemplify the values of your organization, and let them build the next generation of leadership in your company. Even as a sole proprietorship, through the largest of companies, you have that responsibility. If IT is a cost and is viewed that way, you're absolutely never going down this path. Your IT people want to be developed. And find those individual passions. Find the guy who likes to write middleware code into the wee hours of the morning and make him the best middleware coder you can find. If that's what's important and it aligns to your business, those two have to be together. If you have somebody who loves social media because they Twitter into the wee hours, put a new hat on them. If you have somebody who loves what they're doing, find out what it is and let them grow. The worst thing it can do is make you look good. Let's peel back the onion of that IT person. For those of you in here who are not comfortable about what motivates a person, it's probably the same things that motivate you. Is there enough love? Is there enough respect and acknowledgement of what they're going through? Spend that opportunity to understand that business. Because for you, as IT responsible, you have an obligation as you build your technology roadmap to identify your talent as your key resource. It's not just your servers or the cloud or how many gigabits it's going to the desktop. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's in your people. Understand what those people do, and understanding what those talents are is definitely going to highlight where you have risk. Johnny's got us covered on this area, but Johnny can leave. Johnny can move to Iowa. Johnny can find something different in his life. And that's going to leave you exposed. So understanding where you have risk in key people is as important as understanding where you have holes in your strategy. ADNET gets called a lot on high availability versus backup. We need our systems available at all times. Or, it's okay if it crashes. We can always go to backup. Two different types of businesses. But be real about what your risk exposure is in your organization. That has to go into your strategic roadmap. We cannot afford to be down more than 3 hours. We cannot afford to be down more than 3 minutes. Or we could afford to be down for days, as long as we get payroll done. Those are all different strategies. And the costs associated with those are different. But your senior management needs to know that, or guess what? There's your nasty surprise. So put this into your risk matrix. as is your weakest link. What is your weakest link? If we're not assuming it's people, it could be the technology. It could be the company that's providing that technology for you. You need to look outside your organization for your weakest link, especially as cloud prominence becomes much more readily available to most of you. For those of you who are in a high compliance market, you need to own your compliance. If you yourself don't understand, as a medical profession, every instance of high tech in the HIPAA environment, you need to have somebody on your staff who owns it. This will put you out in nasty surprise land very quickly if you don't own your responsibility to your compliance. But risk assessments go way beyond compliance. A perfect example is in the medical profession, there is a requirement to do a yearly risk assessment. That's a great opportunity to build a strategic plan from those nasty surprises. Make sure you're vetting your risk assessment. If you don't have a risk assessment and you're not in a high compliance area, get one. The fine print, I happen to see that on a banner out there. The fine print is full of nasty surprises. Service level agreements, warranties. Do you know where you stand? Is your inventory covered? Those are things you should be absolutely getting your arms around because it has impact to your strategic plan. Lastly, prepare for the worst. I guarantee you, as you're sitting here right now, somebody somewhere is trying to do something really bad to you. How does that make you feel? This is not just going to ruin your day. It's going to provide an opportunity for a nasty surprise. If the nasty surprise on your risk assessment is so high in case of a virus, a hack, a Trojan horse, a worm, any of those things, it should have been highlighted on your risk assessment. And it should be addressed on your roadmap, that you have a responsibility to make sure that the business understands what that downside is. Don't trust a single source in all of your security needs. Have a methodical plan. And just envision what would happen if we lost all of our computers today to a virus. Let's take some baby steps. If you do nothing in your strategic plan and all of those words had no resonance, let's talk about these and maybe bring these back in your organization, regardless of what level and in what organization you're at. Really, avoiding nasty surprises is about managing your expectations. The expectations of your peers, of those above you, and of those below you. 360-degree communications and feedback is so wonderful to get everybody on the same page. You need strategic buy-in. You need a strategic roadmap. Talk and communicate widely to get everybody on board. I know this is really hard, especially at ADNET, but we can't do everything. We have to be very careful when we're talking with a client about what we're good at and what we're going to partner with others who are really good at something. The same holds true for you. It's okay not to own everything, but be realistic. If you're realistic with yourself and the rest of your organization, you've got a really good chance of avoiding a nasty surprise. Communicate what you're good at and communicate what you're not so good at. Put it in your risk assessment. Empowerment is very liberating. Letting a team run. Letting them envision a successful engagement project. It's liberating. It's liberating for your IT folks. Absolutely. I don't know of a whole lot of IT folks that like Gantt charts. I'm going out on a limb. But letting them develop that Gantt chart and owning that data is very liberating. But don't confuse empowerment with a lack of accountability. Hold them accountable. Build in your governance model. Have your feedback session. Build in rewards and milestones. It's common professional development. Stay data-driven. Understand what your metrics of success are, but don't build a million of them. Let people contribute to whatever that data need is. Efficiency, growth, return. Let them see the value. Focus your data. Focus your needs. Plan for the worst? I think I covered that one. It's going to happen. Whether small or really big, it's going to happen to everybody here. Everybody here has probably had a computer die on them. Those are the easiest things. But if you're planning for the worst, that little bit of paranoia will serve you well for avoiding nasty surprises later. What gets measured gets done. I believe thoroughly in that. If you want to measure an impact of a project, if you want to have the project get done, measure it. Measure its impact. And reward the folks that have that impact to making that successful. What gets measured absolutely gets done. And lastly, as you're building a plan, revision 1, revision 2, revision 3, draft A, talk it through with the stakeholders. And that stakeholder is 360 degrees. If the owner of the company, the C-suite, or your boss is on board, as are your peers, you're going to have a successful engagement. And you're going to avoid your nasty surprises. Everybody understands when to raise the alarm bell, but also everybody understands when it's time to back you up. I wanted to thank you very much for being here. I hope this was of value to you in your organizations. Please do follow us. It's a great way to get value out of what's new and coming in the marketplace, because we tweet a lot, we Facebook a lot, we talk about new technologies out there, and we talk about the impacts to our clients. So another good place to get information. Super. I hope this is of value. Enjoy the day, everybody. Thank you very much.